And we are recording now. Yay! Hello, everybody. My name is Vanessa, and today we have another episode of Humans of Beekeeping podcast. If you don't know who we are or who I am, as I say, I'm Vanessa. I live in Adelaide, Australia, and I have this theory that we should praise any type of different type of beekeepings and beekeepers all around the world. So I went around Australia and maybe 3 months ago, something like that, and I met a lot of beekeepers, and I'm still going to do that. And today we are joined by the beautiful Caroline. And Caroline, can you tell us a little bit more about you?
Hi, Vanessa. Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for asking me to come along. Yep, my name is Caroline. I live in a little town called Garfield in Victoria. I also have a beautiful little property up in the hills. It's on Airbnb if you want to come stay in the area. So I moved to the Victorian area from Queensland and got back to my rural roots. So definitely that's what got me interested in starting beekeeping. So I moved down here about 7-8 years ago, and yeah, after purchasing my little property, I've got my chickens, now I want my bees. That was about 4 years ago. So yeah, I've been beekeeping for about 4 seasons now.
4 seasons of beekeeping. So you say that what got you interested is, into it was going back to your roots, meaning the rural area. What do you mean by that? It's like...
Oh, yeah, definitely. So, I grew up on a sugarcane farm, which I think is important to know. Yeah, I've gone from sugar to honey, right? So, yeah, it has to be sweet, definitely sweet. So, yeah, getting back to those rural roots, I think, when you're interested in beekeeping or any kind of self-sufficiency, chickens and beekeeping is a good place to start. So got the chickens and then signed up for the bees as well. And I was interested in doing so because I wanted to be self-sufficient. So it's about starting that process.
So I came and visited you in November last year, November 2018. And when I came and visited you, obviously you were alongside of the person you were working with, which is Will. We all know what's happening to Will. We're not going to talk about that. But what I want to talk to you about, and what I think I've already talked to you just before, because we talked together, guys, is the connection you had both together. And in my beekeeping career, whatever you want to call it, I never sent something so smooth. You guys were working together. You knew exactly what he needed. He knew exactly what you needed, and you worked like this. And I was bouncing back and forth all the time, and it was so smooth that I had to say something about this. Like, the connection was great. Do you think there's a little secret behind this? Not secrets, but any advice for people when they work with someone else to have such a great connection when you work?
Yeah, definitely. I think connection is something that you either have straight away or it definitely grows from there. So like William was my mentor from the beginning, and we started off with on his lease program. So, brought out the bees to my property, and then every time the beekeeper and William, mostly William, would come and tend to the bees on my property, it was a great learning experience, and I was very hands-on. And I would always say to my boss, I'm sorry, I'm coming in late this morning because my beekeeping mentor is coming and I've got to be home to learn about the bees. So, my first couple of seasons, it was that. And straight away, really, William and I built up that rapport pretty quickly. And he's such a knowledgeable person and knows so much about the bees. I just, even at our community meetings, I would sort of make sure that I was in a position where I could always listen to what he was saying from what other people were asking him as well. And quite often it was like, there'd be a queue of people waiting to speak to him because he loves what he does, has a great passion about bees and an immense amount of knowledge. But yeah, I think that connection just built over the years of, you know, going out, traveling around the countryside together, working beehives, and he obviously had the understanding in me that I knew what I was doing. I was following his lead a lot of the time. So over the years, it was just like, yeah, she's got this, all good, yeah, good. And then when you came to visit, which was amazing, and we worked the hives in our front yard, which honestly, William and I haven't worked together for a long time because running the business together, it was like I was either in the office and he was out, or I was out and he was back at the office. So that opportunity when you came was wonderful because we got to open hives together again, which we hadn't done for such a long time. So thank you for that.
No, thank you. At that time, that was wonderful, and I was surprised to see him too. And I was like, "Yeah, great surprise!" Because I love Will; he's awesome. But let's get back to you, and maybe one day I will do a podcast with him if you grab his arm and say, "Let's do that."
Yeah, for sure.
But one question that I have to ask you: so it's been 4 years that you do that now. What advice would you give someone that is just starting to keep bees or want to learn to keep bees?
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's one that I would get asked quite a lot, having worked in a professional manner in the beekeeping industry now for just over 12 months with William. A lot of people want to get started. The very first thing we say to people is connect with your local beekeeping club. Find yourself a mentor or a bee buddy. It's really important to have that support and the knowledge from somebody who's done it before. Even if they've only done it for a season or two, it's great to have someone with you to build up your confidence. So, and, you know, whether it's, you know, your friends are going to get into it with you, or you've got this mentor from your local community club, that getting in touch with your community club is also good on so many levels, because most of them run little training sessions as part of their monthly meetings, but also you're going to be very aware of what else is happening in your region. You know, so you're going to know if someone else is having trouble with their bees, or there's no nectar flow, or you know, or they're having a great nectar flow, then you know how to respond accordingly to your hive as well. So definitely for beginners, that's the number one. Connect with your local beekeepers club and do a course. Like, so many courses out there that are really designed to be very hands-on. Introduction to beekeeping courses are all over, whether they're offered by your local community garden groups, or you know, people like Vanessa and William, and there's so many people out there that are doing courses. It's amazing. You know, I did a course before I got my bees, and for me, yeah, it really just supported it, cemented the fact that, okay, well, I'm confident to do this, so yes, this is something I want to do. Imagine getting your beehive and then realizing that you have no, like, I guess I don't want to say courage, but something like putting your hands in a box full of bees is something that you really can't do. Then you don't want to get in so involved and then figure out that, yeah, you're really allergic or something. So yeah, it's good to do a course.
I've had people coming to my courses and they have to sign some type of papers, but I keep forgetting to give them the paper. But the paper says, do you have any bee allergy, you know? Yeah. And for me, when people actually enroll onto those workshops, I think to myself, this is common sense to come and know that you don't have any bee allergy.
Yeah, to us it is, but some it hasn't crossed their mind yet. So, but they soon find out, and I think, you know, you would experience it as well, that a lot of people say, you know, people who aren't beekeepers say, "Oh, I'm allergic to bees," but really what they're experiencing is what you and I would experience, a general allergic reaction. It's not like they're going to stop breathing. So
I think you kind of get like this good exercise of having bee stings on your face.
Oh yes, I know. Anyone who's going to follow me on Facebook will know.
You're always like, I think last time you sent me a picture of you got stung somewhere on the face, and then you posted another picture of you on the Facebook saying you got stung on the face too, and it was 2 different locations. I was like, nice one.
Yeah.
Have any advice? Because obviously we all know, like, wherever you're gonna get stung, you're not gonna react the same way. It's like, I know my ankle, as soon as I get stung on the ankle, it's like my whole leg blew like a balloon. My hands are fine, can get stung 100 times is fine, but the face, you're good at the face. I want to know what's your recipe for the face.
Oh boy, I think you publicize the face stings more because you have a better reaction on the face stings. Like I could definitely post about my ankle or my leg stings, but it's not the same. It's not as funny, I think. Yeah.
No, it's not as funny. But you put something on it for it to swell down a bit faster.
Yeah. I was actually waiting to be stung on the face to try this method out. And when I got stung in the corner of the mouth at a client's place. I was just leaving. We'd done a transfer, so the bees were a lot more kind of buzzy than they would normally be because we totally switched over the hive. So I was just wrapping things up. I no longer had my suit on or anything, and I got stung in the corner of the mouth. And the second after this happened, I thought, yes, now I get to test the onion theory. So,
what is it?
An onion.
An onion.
An onion. So I had carried this brown onion around in my bee box for months of this season, and so I was so excited that I'd got stung that I raced for my bee box, grabbed my onion, not to stop the pain or anything, but just to try this, whether it would work. And then the second thought I had was, but if it works, I'm not going to have these beautiful Botox swollen lips, that we all get. But it did. It worked. So cut the onion, place the onion onto the cut side of the onion onto the sting. Don't ask me how it works, but it took the pain out fairly quickly, as well as I had no swelling, just a small amount of swelling. Like when you go to the dentist and you get that kind of, you feel more like you're swollen than you look. That's exactly what it was like. So, yeah, further down the track, about half an hour down the road, I got to my next client, and I then took an antihistamine. So I've always got antihistamines on hand. Okay. And so, but look, it can be an hour or two before I get to the antihistamine, or I can be bothered taking it. So, yeah. But my recent, the night before Christmas Eve, I got stung in the very sort of inside edge of my nose.
Nice.
And that was the most recent post. It was horrible. Like, I cannot explain the pain. I had my suit on, but again, we were splitting hives, and it was the night before Christmas Eve. We wanted to, get home. So the lady had got herself in and just went straight for my nose. Well, I ran to my car to try and find the onion that I had left, and it wasn't fresh anymore, and I put it on there anyway, and I was just, so much pain. Look, don't let that discourage you in any way, though. No.
No, definitely not. Now, things haven't worked out forever with Will, so now I want to know what's your plan, because we've talked about that, but it's not yet publicized big and stuff. So what are you doing?
Well, clearly I have a passion for this. I wouldn't keep going back and risking it as if I didn't really love what I do. And it's, you know, the stings are isolated, so don't let that put you off. Yeah, because that would be like, beekeeping is so fascinating, and in a lot of sense, it's not just about the bees. It's about the people and the journey that they're on as well. And there's just something about beekeeping that it slows you down. It's such a wonderful, mindful act, and I just really enjoy it. And obviously, I could talk under wet cement, but I love showing people what I've learned and seeing them receive that passion. So from here, it's very early days for me at the moment, but by the time you read this podcast, things will have gotten along. I'm starting my own mentoring business called Come Fly With Me Beekeeping, and I just that name popped into my head because I'm going to join you on this journey. We're going to fly together into this whole world of beekeeping. We're going to learn things together, but also my way of training people is very hands-on and very proactive. You know, my intention is to empower you to have the confidence to handle the bees on your own, to do active inspections a lot sooner than you would expect, perhaps, because the best way to learn is to be very hands-on and to to really just be aware and watch their behaviour and learn from that. And I just love it. So I'm so blessed to have this opportunity, as bittersweet as it is. I'm very sad at the demise of the business, but it has given me this opportunity to fly on my own as well. And I will be forever grateful to William for teaching me everything that I know.
Yeah.
And more. You know, there's always more to learn. So,
Are you putting your hands on the microphone?
No, I don't think so.
Are you moving your legs?
No, I don't think so.
It sounds like you may be like touching the phone, or maybe you have the phone over here. And
I wonder where the microphone is.
it must be down the bottom where you spit, like somewhere here.
I'm on my computer.
Are you on the computer?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I'm very sorry, everyone, but the last words we didn't hear really well was like, I'm very grateful for what will, and then it's when.
Yes. Well, I'm very grateful for everything that Will taught me, and will continue to teach me, because, you know, the importance of having a mentor is that you never stop learning. And I've been lucky enough to meet a lot of different people in the industry already, and people that have been doing it for years, and they're still intrigued by what they find when they open the hive. So, you know, like it's like a box of surprises sometimes. And I don't know if you've heard this saying, Vanessa, but I love this saying about in the beekeeping world, that the bees don't read the same books we do, you know. So I hope you can hear me okay now.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, because it's just lovely. Yeah.
Say it is so true, and this is something that I praise people to understand. You may learn a lot about beekeeping on the books, but it's all about adaptability. So you adapt yourself to the bees, because the bees adapt themselves to what's happening to the world right now.
Absolutely.
Massive drought here in South Australia. Where the honey intake is ooze, and we're not getting much. So maybe out of the 120 hives that I have, maybe only 30 or 40 of them have honey. Oh, that's crazy. So it's right. It's all about adapting yourself, because the bees don't read the same book. They don't even read books. You're putting them in the box. So you learn to put things in the box, just like a book.
Yeah. Yes.
Now I have a question for you. Is that what's the greatest difficulty in beekeeping, in your opinion?
Yeah. Do you know, in my opinion, look, we could talk about the colony collapse and environmental pressures, and I think there's a lot of people that are aware of how climate control and all that sort of stuff affects the bees. But I guess I'm going to answer the question maybe a little differently. That the difficulty I have with beekeeping is lifting those heavy boxes. You know, when you get a box full of honey, it's heavy. So again, adaptability, you know, take a few frames out before you have to lift the box off yourself. But, you know, because yes, it is difficult in beekeeping that we are at the mercy of Mother Nature and the variables of the environment and things like that. But, you know, that is just what beekeeping is. That's what it's about. And you know, you can do so many proactive things to you know, plant more trees and you know, but there's, at the end of the day, we have no control over Mother Nature's decisions. So my difficulty is handling heavy boxes.
I just had a question popping in my head, and I didn't told you about that question. But come fly with me beekeeping. Would you be thinking about giving people like workshops?
Yeah, I mean, I really like doing the on-site training, and so I think it's going to evolve into some on-site workshops and things like that. Very early days. I'd love to, you know, even with the previous business, I wanted to have these amazing resources available to, you know, like fact sheets and things like that. So yeah, I could definitely see Come Fly With Me going down the line of, you know, small workshops, beginner workshops, and also more so the opportunity to work hives with me as well. Just in that sense of, you know, come along with me, give me a hand lifting some boxes, get some more hands-on experience while, you know, because you never know what you're going to find, even when you've got, you know, 10 or 15 hives in a row, they're all going to be different. So that's really interesting and a great learning experience. So that's my intention, is to go along those lines of the on-site mentoring, but as well as the come out and work hives with me for a day, a little bit of stock availability to just keep everybody covered with the basics, and see where we go from there, really.
Oh, that's great. That's great. What do you wish you knew before you started your journey into the beekeeping world?
What do I wish I knew? I feel like even though I know a lot, there's still so much more to know. So it's been more about, it's been such an exciting discovery of learning something new each time. I don't think I've got to that point where I was like, oh, like in any sense of, I guess we think of that question as a negative, like, gee, I wish I knew that. But, oh, I don't know how to answer that, to be honest.
That's okay. I like tricky questions, but that's the way.
Yeah.
I think you are very good at, though.
Oh, I think we've established.
Getting on the face, yeah.
Yeah, and talking. I love a good chat. I really do. And, you know, when I was in the shop and getting to meet a lot of people, I used to always say to them, you got more than you bargained for, didn't you? And they're like, oh, absolutely, because they come in with a simple question, and I don't think in beekeeping there's ever a simple answer. There's a lot to consider around the question and the answer and everything. So I would always give people a lot more information than they expected to get because I love a good chat.
It's good, and they get more than they expected, so that's great. And this is one of the things that's gonna get comply with me beekeeping even more special is that you have that connection with people. Like when I came and visited you, I didn't know what to expect. I don't know what to expect when I go and visit people, when I go and mentor people.
Yeah.
But you had that aura around you. So I'm turning into a hippie, but we all know I'm a hippie.
That's okay.
You had that aura around you, and it felt like you were an angel. Like
Aww.
beautiful angel. And not only to me, I could feel it with like Will. You were Will's angel because you were there. You know, you arrived at the right time. So yeah, it's awesome. It's great. You know, when you sit down next to your hive, do you sit down next to your hives?
Oh yes, I do now because I've got a nice, really nice little spot. And so I do, I sit and I love just being so close. So close. Yeah.
Do you find out, you know, we all know they all have different hum and buzz and, you know,
yes,
way of being and smells and is there any of the specification into the hive that is your most favorite one?
Is there a
For example, for me, when I sit next to my hive, what I like to do is look at them coming back home at night time.
Oh yeah.
It's one of my favorite thing. It's like they're rushing but without rushing because the rush is like coming in the morning. You see them in like 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, like that.
Yes, yeah.
Time it's more soothing, it's more calm, and they have a specific smells to them. It's specific. I can't really explain, but
yeah.
Is there anything like that that you appreciate more than something else about them?
I think when I'm actually doing an inspection and I get to take my time, which I do quite a lot. I don't like to rush. I'm not a rushing kind of person. My nickname at home is Fluff because apparently I kind of just fluff around and do my thing, and you know it's yeah. But anyway, that's too much information maybe. Yeah. So when you're inspecting and you get to take your time, there is so much more that you notice, and I love watching the emerging bees coming out of there. You know, take that time to just watch that new little life come out, and they get to work straight away, and it is fascinating. But I'm totally picking up what you're saying, Vanessa, because yeah, the intention of the bees, and that's a really important thing to look for. Do your bees have an intention today? And that's also something that you can notice if there is something wrong. If they don't seem to have an intention, then you know you need to sort of look at that. But yeah, morning rush hour, the 1 or 2 o'clock shift changeover, I like to call it, is when you know that mid-afternoon or early afternoon shift changeover. They're so busy. But yeah, and when I get to sit down at my hive, it's in the afternoon, so I'm obviously choosing that moment to sit down and not rush, and I'm not rushing with them, and it's beautiful. Yeah,
it's beautiful. I have a question for you. Is that where do you see yourself in the next 3 years?
I just want to keep doing this, really. Have a steady flow of my own honey, which is coming. Yeah, just continuing to help new people learn all that there is, the wonders of beekeeping, and really embrace that. I don't want to be greedy. I don't want to do too much. I want to spread the love around and point people in the right direction, especially, you know, if I can't help people, there's a wonderful, huge community of people out there that are willing to help and support in the same capacity that I'm doing. There are so many people that are just wonderful people that just love the bees and love showing you know, new beekeepers about how to handle the bees appropriately. So I'd just love to keep doing that, and also find a little bit of space to do my artwork because I'm also an artist. So So I really need to finish a book that I'm illustrating, and in a couple of years I've booked myself in for an exhibition. So, you know, the bees will feature in the exhibition, I believe. So yeah, so watch this space. It's going to be exciting. But yeah, the artist beekeeper, I'm not destined to make $1 million. So, but that's not my intention in life. So yeah.
Obviously, you get that thing about you. Everything is about communication, connection, doing it for the good of bees and doing it for the good of the you too, because we feel that's like you're not here for the money, you're here to help, but you're here to survive too. So
oh, definitely, yeah.
Right. Well, I think I'm no, actually, I think I kept that question for the last one because you had a bit of an issue in remembering what was the funniest moment of your beekeeping career.
Oh dear. Oh, I think the funniest to date is going to have to be the I was going to say the face sting, but I've just remembered. Oh, I think every new beekeeper is going to do this. So it was way back when, and I had first got my bees, and I was out on my little property up in the hills, in the bush, and there's no one around. And it was a hot day, so I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I need to go and take my bees some water. So I went up to my beehive with a bowl of water, and I actually had no pants on and just a shirt on. I had not yet been stung, but here's me with no pants on trying to edge this bowl of water closer and closer and closer to the entrance of the hive because I thought that's what they needed. And of course, I copped a sting in the hair. They get stuck in your hair. So I got a sting on the temple and a sting on the arm, and all I can really recall is running out of the bushes, down the hill, back to my house, away from the bees, with no pants on, ripping my shirt off at the front door, going, no, classic movie of, expecting all these bees to be chasing you down the hill. But yeah, I had to actually laugh about that because you can imagine if anyone had seen me. Oh, there is a photo of that, but it's from the chest up with the ice pack on my head.
Yeah. Okay. Now, advice for new beekeepers.
Yeah.
Don't go near the hive without any pants.
Yeah. And you don't need to put water right there. But yeah, definitely be clothed.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for doing this today. I appreciate it. I wish you all the best. We're going to share all about you here on Humans of Beekeeping, but also myself. I will do everything to help you out. I will link all your Facebook and Instagram onto the comment down below. If you have any question, you guys, to Caroline, or if you want to get in contact with her, comment down below or look into the comments boxes and you have everything about her. And for now, I would like to thank you so much for speaking with us, and miss you too.
Yeah, thank you so much, Vanessa. It's lovely to see you again, even on the big screen, and yeah, our paths will cross again in reality soon. You're just an absolute angel yourself, and I loved it. Thanks so much for inviting me to be on here today.
Oh, thank you.